Yes, I myself have also been through the pain of class registration. I have been waitlisted and some of my classes have absolutely been full. In fact, I've actually been really lucky to get most of my classes while on a flight to San Francisco on my way down to Chapel Hill. So I'm also pretty sure you are probably going to ask the same question as me. Why are my classes full in the first place? Is it because the dates I'm meeting is like very strange, like 5 p.m. on a Sunday? Or is it because, oh yeah, I am not taking a course which has no passwords? But hey, I also happen to like take an information science course on data analytics, so why not put my skills to the test to figure out what is going on? As you probably know, course information is readily available on the web. We have the course catalog page for all courses which is taught in UNC. Here's an example screenshot with econ coded courses which represent courses taught by the economics department. Here you can see the course code, the course title, its description on what it does, and some other neat stuff you should know as a Tar Heel, like your ideas in action general education requirements. Oh yes, you probably also heard about this neat page called the UNC Public Reports page, which has additional information that you might need to register for your classes. Here, you have the historical course record, which tells me how many Tar Heels signed up for the class, and a class search, which tells me further information about each class. This is what I see in the historical course record when I try to look up Econ 101 on that page. As you can see, we have 297 Tar Heels who tried to register for section 001 for Econ 101. Why is it important to know the section? We'll get to that later. Now, we have further information on the sections we want. We know when they will meet, how they will meet, and how many seats are left. Here, we know that section 001 will meet every Tuesday and Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. But section 002 meets on the same days but at a different time. In this case, 11 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. At the last row, it tells me if the class is really full. If the number of available seats is 0, have fun with the wait list, or worse, make a trip down to Steel Building and figure out your plan B. So what next? How are we going to make use of the information? Certainly we have to do something about it. Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to start copying and pasting all the information I need into a single Excel file. Let's go. Yay! I'm done. After like months sitting on this computer in Davis library, I managed to like get all the information I need. It's like, oh, I can meet on a Monday. Maybe it's like if it's offered under another class, or maybe if it's under general education, then all sort of other data that I really need for my data wrangling and stuff like that. Of course, it is now time to figure out how we can derive insights from the data I wrangled. But first, I need to call someone. Hello? You have the Orange data mining system? Great. I have this one Excel file that I need to predict if classes are full based on a few certain attributes. Okay. Can you help me choose a model and tell me how accurate these models are? If they're like text features on Orange, you can save it ignore because I'll get back to you when it's needed. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye. After a bit of waiting for my friend to get back to me, this is what I got when I did linear regression, decision tree, or random forest on the data I just provided them without any text. Turns out it shouldn't really be that surprising that random forest has a slightly higher accurate score, but then, decision trees or maybe even linear regression. But the question I have is, can we do any better? Hello? You still have my file? Okay, tell you what, you might want to do topic modeling. But first, you need to convert them to a bag of words, yeah? So try 1, 2, and 1 and 2 grams and see if you can have any improvement. Thanks, yeah? See you soon. Okay, my friend got back to me and they told me, yes, we use 7 topic latent temperature allocation, and turns out they were telling me that if we use 1 gram with the various decision models we tried earlier, then there's a little bit of a slight improvement. But if we tried 1 and 2 grams, yeah, he thinks that's not really a change, and I kind of do agree with him a bit. But then again, I think pretty much, we can probably like figure out if there are keywords that can boost things further. Hello, can you do one last favor for me? Can you do direct logistic regression on the backs of what you have? I just want to see if there are keywords which do indeed drive occupancies up and hopefully see if you can do a better prediction. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Yeah, I got back the results again, and turns out, hey, we probably did have a bit of a better accuracy, especially if we do logistic regression on 2 grams with like an 80.5% accuracy rate, which is like better than if we just didn't take into consideration the text features at all. So yay, 80.5% accuracy rate just from using logistic regression. Is that the end of my analysis? Well, the answer is actually no. For a start, I do admit that I've only considered undergraduate level courses, which is like any course in UNC, which is like below 600. So you can name the first year seminars, the introductory undergraduates, and some of the intermediate or advanced undergraduates, which some graduate students can do, but never pure graduate classes at all. There are classes with recitations. I know, very pesky. You can't find any recitation class, you're probably going to have to find another plan B. But then the problem about these recitation classes is they don't really appear anywhere online. So that means trying to find information on them is hard. And certainly I could have taken this into account when I did the class predictions. Of course, to address a few elephants in the room, one, I only tested my data on fall 2025. If I would have like tested on spring 2024 or maybe even spring 2026, that might pose a really big problem because quite a lot of things might have changed from this semester. Oh yeah, by the way, if you like to eat Howling Cow from Telemarket or maybe you like to show up in K-Ville to wait for the Duke UNC game, your structure is pretty different. So my project can't really be applicable to your needs and desires for like predicting class occupancies. But hey, we can actually predict class occupancies given enough information. We've seen like 80% accuracy, and that's a good proportion of classes that we can predict. I know there'll be like a few false positives and a few false negatives, but we can still do a reasonable attempt in like figuring out what classes are full based on their profiles. That means for those of you guys who are working in SASB, you might consider adopting my project to make sure any future Tar Heels will not find class registration a pain.